Trump's approval rating still negative while the public sours further on Democrats, CNBC survey shows. 14 net approval rating. The president's net approval rating increased 0.4 points from last week, with 41% approving and 55% disapproving in an Economist/YouGov survey of 1,702 U.S. adults conducted August 1st to 4th, margin of error 3. That shows the public continues to have a negative perception of the controversies surrounding the federal government's handling of its investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. The Economist/YouGov survey found 68% of respondents said they believe the government is covering up evidence it has about Epstein, while 60% disapprove of the Trump administration's handling of the controversy, which stems from the Justice Department's decision announced last month that it would not release additional details of its probe into Epstein. August 4th to 20th, Trump's approval rating declined to 38% and his disapproval rating increased to 58% in a UMass poll of 1,000 respondents released July 25th to 30th, margin of error 3.5, compared to 44% per 51% in the group's April poll. Trump's approval rating on all four issues, both the April and July UMass polls asked about inflation, immigration, jobs and civil rights, declined, with immigration dropping the most points, 9. August 4th to 3rd, Trump's approval rating dipped 2 points, to 45%, in Morning Consult's weekly poll of 2,201 registered U.S. voters conducted August 1st to 3rd, margin of error 2, while 42% disapproved. Monday's rating is significantly better than Trump's -15 net approval rating Morning Consult found at this point in his first term, when 40% of voters approved and 55% disapproved of his job performance. July 29th to 15th, Trump's rating remained mostly unchanged in the Economist/YouGov's weekly survey out Tuesday compared to last week's poll, with 40% approving of his job performance and 55% disapproving, according to the poll of 1,577 U.S. adults conducted July 25th to 28th, margin of error 3. A 1-point decline in his approval rating from last week, though his disapproval rating remained stagnant. July 28th to 3rd, the president's approval rating increased 2 points, to 47%, and his disapproval rating declined 2 points, to 50% in Morning Consult's weekly survey of 2,202 registered U.S. voters conducted July 25th to 27th, margin of error 2, compared to last week's poll. The last time Trump had a net positive approval rating in Morning Consult's poll was in March. July 24th to 21st, Trump's 37% approval rating is down from 47% in January, while 58% disapprove of his job performance, compared to 48% in January, according to a July 7th to 21st Gallup poll of 1,002 adults, margin of error 4. Trump's average approval rating for the second quarter of his second term, April 20th to July 19th, is 40% in Gallup polling, compared to a 39% average in the second quarter of his first term but below second-term averages for every post-World War II president. July 22nd to 14th, Trump's approval rating is unchanged from last week in the latest Economist/YouGov survey of 1,729 U.S. adults taken July 18th to 21st, margin of error 3.4, with 41% approving of his job performance and 55% disapproving, compared to a 49% approval rating and 43% disapproval rating at the start of his term, according to Economist/YouGov polling. An overwhelming majority, 81% of respondents, said the government should release all documents related to its probe into Jeffrey Epstein, while 69% said they believe the government is covering up evidence about Epstein, and 56% disapprove of Trump's handling of the Epstein investigation. July 16th to 16th, a total of 42% approve of Trump's job performance, while 58% disapprove in a new CNN/SSRS poll of 1,057 respondents conducted July 10th to 13th, margin of error 3.5, representing a 1-point improvement in Trump's approval rating since April and a 1-point drop in his disapproval rating. The majority, 61%, of Americans said they oppose Trump's signature policy bill that would pay for tax breaks and additional border security, among other measures, in part, by cutting Medicaid. while 39% said they approve of the so-called megabill. July 15th to 14th, Trump's net approval rating dipped to its lowest point of his second term in Economist/YouGov polling, with 41% approving and 55% disapproving, according to the survey of 1,506 registered voters. Margin of error 3.1. Consistent with his lowest approval rating of his first term, according to Economist/YouGov polling. July 14th to 3rd, Trump's approval rating improved 2 points to 47%, while his disapproval rating also improved 2 points to 50% in Morning Consult's weekly survey of 2,201 registered voters with a 2-point margin of error. July 2nd to 16th, Trump's approval rating stands at 40% in a Yahoo/YouGov poll of 1,597 U.S. adults conducted June 26th to 30th, margin of error 3.2, a 4-point decrease from the group's March poll, while 56% disapprove. Trump's -16 net approval rating is 3 points worse than it was at this point during his first term, according to YouGov data, while former President Barack Obama had a +14 net approval rating and former President Joe Biden had a +7 approval rating halfway through their first years in office. June 30th to 3rd, Trump's disapproval rating improved from 53% to 50% in Morning Consult's weekly poll compared to its survey last week, while his approval rating increased from 45% to 47%. The survey of 2,202 registered voters was conducted June 27th to 29th and has a 2-point margin of error. The rating was Trump's best since May and coincides with an uptick in respondents' approval of his handling of national security issues since last week, following a ceasefire agreement between Israel and Iran. June 23rd to 16th, Trump's approval rating dipped 1 point to 41% in a Reuters Ipsos survey of 1,139 U.S. adults taken June 21st to 23rd from its June 11th to 16th survey, with 57% disapproving. The latest poll has a 3-point margin of error. The poll also found a plurality, 45%, of U.S. adults surveyed do not support the airstrikes on Iranian nuclear facilities over the weekend, while 36% support them and 19% said they were unsure. 13. An Economist/YouGov poll found 54% of voters disapprove of Trump's job performance, while 41% approve. The survey of 1,512 U.S. adults was conducted June 13th to 16th and has a 3.3-point margin of error. The survey also found Trump's approval rating is underwater when it comes to his handling of Iran, with 37% approving and 41% disapproving, while 60% of respondents, including 53% of 2024 Trump voters, say the U.S. should not get involved in the conflict between Israel and Iran, as Trump has repeatedly threatened U.S. military intervention. June 17th to 17th, Trump's net approval rating improved 2 points in the latest Pew Research survey taken June 2nd to 8th, compared to the group's last poll in April, with the latest survey showing 41% approve and 58% disapprove. The survey of 5,044 U.S. adults has a 1.6-point margin of error. June 16th to 6th, Trump's net approval rating dipped 2 points in Morning Consult's latest weekly survey of 2,207 registered U.S. voters, margin of error 2, with 46% approving and 52% disapproving of his job performance. Numbers the pollster notes are on par with his ratings in April and early May, during a downward spiral that coincided with his shock tariffs. June 16th to 12th, Trump's approval rating remained stagnant at 42% in a Reuters Ipsos poll taken June 11th to 16th, compared to the group's May poll, but his disapproval rating increased 2 points to 54% in the latest survey of 4,258 U.S. adults, margin of error 2.